Well, Georgia has locked up the East for the fifth time in 7 years. That's pretty impressive, I'll tell you that. Kirby Smart's got Georgia going in a very good direction. And this team has congealed, well, I don't know. I want to say they're about as congealed, if not better congealed, than the team from last year. The only thing the team on last year has on this one was the seniors and the veteran presence that they had. We have some of those, but not to the extent that last year's team had. Now let's put a little bit of more. Let's give you a little bit more stats from this past week. In Kirby Smart's first 5 years as the head coach of UGA, from 2016 to 2020, Kirby Smart was 2-4 in SEC West games on the road. There's only 2 wins at Auburn in 2019 and at Arkansas in 2020. He had losses against Ole Miss on the road in 2016. Auburn on the road in 2017, LSU on the road in 2018, and Alabama on the road in 2020. Kirby Smart struggled on the road against the West for his first few years. However, his last 2 times on the road in the SEC, he has won by a margin of, I believe last year, 34-10 against Auburn, and then this year 45-19 against Mississippi State. It was a dominant performance against Mississippi State last night. It may have only been a 17-12 at halftime. It should have been 17-3, honestly, or 17-6. But that, we just did not do well on that punt coverage. Mississippi State, I'll give it to them. They have a pretty good special teams. Them in South Carolina have really good special teams in the SEC. This was just a poor performance by us. Keely Ringo missed a tackle that would have stopped him right there. And he just ran on in. He had great blocking. Now, we had 17 points. Stetson Bennett in the first half had an interception caused by a Mississippi State player coming in and hitting him as he threw it. If the Mississippi State player had not hit him, it most likely would have been a touchdown thrown. I forget who it was to, but it was going to be a chance at a touchdown. Now, second half looked a lot better. We scored 45 at the end, or the final score was 45-19. Stetson threw another pick in the half, but it was just a great play by the defensive tackle. He got his hand up and knocked the ball down and somehow caught it. I don't know, it's crazy. Good water. But I don't know. Stetson looked fine. The offense looked fine. Defense looked good. It was just a typical Georgia performance. It was one of those that gets lost in the multitude of blowouts that we give out. But we looked good. Kendall Milton got in the action late in the game. Hadn't seen him run it well all year, really. But he got a big run for a touchdown late in the game to make it 45-19 and just looked good. Stetson Bennett, I believe, threw for 3 touchdowns, if not 4. But he was, I think, 11 yards from 400 yards passing that game. Looked fine. The running backs really kind of got it going, kind of couldn't. I mean, this year, we ran it better than we have, but it's just not been up to the standard. We looked good running the ball last week against Tennessee, besides the 2 fumbles. one by Dejon Edwards and one by Branson Robinson. Against Florida and Auburn, we ran it a lot better. But I mean, looked fine. Ladd McConkey had a game last night. He did well. He had not been looking like his old self all year, besides bits and pieces, but yet last night against Mississippi State, he put it all together. So did Kearis Jackson. Kearis Jackson made some good catches against Mississippi State. He looked good. Dominic Blaylock, gosh, dude. I hope he gets it on track, but he's just been inconsistent, dropping passes and everything. But besides him, Marcus Roseman-Jack Saint looked good, catching some passes. And of course, our tight ends looked good. Darnell Washington and Brock Bowers looked just fine. The offensive line, besides allowing that pressure, I mean, they look fine. We've looked good on the offensive line all year. Defensively, we got a sack or two. There was a few dropped interceptions, but, I mean, stuff like that's going to happen. Just need to clean that up before we play somebody like an Ohio State or something. But, I mean, it was just a dominant performance. Now, we got the SEC East locked up. We'll be headed to Atlanta on December 3rd to play the Louisiana State Bayou Bengals. Now, Georgia in SEC championships is 1-3 against LSU. Georgia's 0-2 against LSU under Kirby Smart. Georgia is also 2-0 against Brian Kelly under Kirby Smart. So you would think something has to give there. And I believe that thing is going to give is a one win beside the column of Georgia wins over LSU. Now, I'm not going to get too ahead of myself. I do think we're the better opponent, the better team than LSU. But crazier things have happened. I just think that we're the more talented team. But we'll just have to see. What other things happened this weekend? Well, Alabama finally put it together for at least a half and beat a sort of overrated Ole Miss team. And Vanderbilt got their first SEC win since 2019. And their first ranked win since, I'm not even sure, probably 2016 if I had to look. Crazy, dude. Would you believe that Vanderbilt has more wins on the year so far than Texas A&M? Gosh, Texas A&M's just a dumpster fire. Congrats to Vanderbilt, though. 4th win of the season. I originally had them, if you watched my Vanderbilt preview, I originally had them only winning 1 game this year. They've already quadrupled that, so good on them. Congrats to Vanderbilt. It'd take a semi-miracle for them to make a bowl game at this point, though. We'll just have to see. Maybe they'll upset Tennessee. What else? Well, Arkansas looked... LSU didn't look good yesterday. But I'm sure you all know that. Florida blew out South Carolina. Got the... what is it? Got bowl eligibility? Huh. Well, how about it? Billy Napier got the bowl eligibility. Who else played? Well, Auburn, Cadillac Williams, and the Auburn Tigers beat Texas A&M yesterday. My gosh, dude. Good on Cadillac Williams. Rivalry aside, I'm glad that he got his first win as the head coach of Auburn. And Texas A&M, better luck next year, I guess. Dan Lanning, man, you were in the right spot. You could have won out and potentially made the playoffs in your first year coaching. But you went out and lost to something called Michael Penix Jr. and the Washington Huskies. Man, that's just... I guess you'll get better next year, maybe, but not this year. Well, that's about all I have to say for this. We're SEC East champs. We'll be in Atlanta on December 3rd, and we're coming for you, Bayou Bengals. See you then. Go Dogs.